How do we stay motivated in the gym? Hello and welcome back to the Jake Bowler podcast, where we talk about all things health, fitness, and mindset related. Thank you for tuning in to this week's podcast. I do appreciate it, and I do feel very humbled that you are here, you're listening, taking notes, sharing it with your friends, your family, whatever it is you're doing. I appreciate it. This week's topic has been something that has become super popular recently in the online space through social media, and that people have just been enjoying discussing a lot lately. And that is, how do we stay motivated in the gym? Or, how do you get up every single day and go to the gym and work out, or whatever it might be. It could even relate to, how do you get up every single day and do what you do, whether that's going to work or working on a business or working on a project, whatever it might be. Like, how do you get up every single day and just continue doing it and doing it and doing it? For some people, it's a lifestyle. For some people, it's a routine. Others, you just have to do it. For some people, it's healthy habits that they've developed, or it could be negative habits that they've developed anyway. And for other people, it's just their work. They just have to get up and do it, which is the shit one. Which I'll talk about a bit later anyway, because that one where it's like it's work, I have to just get up, I just have to go, there's no other choice. Yes, I've been in that boat, and a lot of people are still in that boat, and it does suck, it is pretty shit, but I'll talk about how we can sort of, while we're in that situation, how we can manage to sort of get out of that as well. Not everyone does, not everyone can, not everyone wants to, but I know a lot of us do. Now, to be completely honest, when I was trying to find a quote for this week's podcast, I did struggle because I kept reading them over and over again, and they're just the same ones that you see on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or whatever it is. And they're the same boring old ones that everyone says, everyone reads, everyone tries to preach, and they're just oversaturated on the internet. And I didn't want to just dump one on the episode just for the sake of having a quote, because that's my thing. Yeah, so I'm not going to do that. So this is actually one that I heard quite a while ago. I'd probably say a good 7, 8, maybe even 9 years ago now. It's been a while. And I haven't used it for a while either. I used to have it stuck up like on my wall, or I think it was on my old cabinet that I used to have. Because I could look at it every single day because I really loved it. And it's simple. It goes, you have to want it as bad as you want to breathe. Really simple. If there's no purpose, if there is no goal, there is no reason or passion for going to the gym or getting up in the morning, then you'll find that you'll lose your motivation very, very quickly. It'll come, it'll go, but only when it does come, it comes for a short period of time, and then it goes for a long time. Another important point to think about, which in today's society, which is just filled, absolutely saturated with instant gratification, which I absolutely hate. It's disgusting. We tend to become impatient with progress in our everyday lives, in our business endeavors, in our relationships, in whatever it might be. Hence why so many people just start and then they quit so quickly, because they don't see the results they want in 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. Like, they want things done now. We can't expect to start something such a big grand scheme and big goal and expect things to happen and occur within a week or two, unless you go out and buy a lottery ticket and you happen to win it. That's a quick win. That's you're rich in 2 seconds, but that's not really how life works, unfortunately. In life, not only in the gym, but we need to start switching our short-term mindsets that everyone has. I've got it as well when I sometimes get trapped and I catch myself being stuck in the, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this happening now? Like, I want this now. We need to shift that short-term mindset and thinking. We need to turn these into long-term thinking patterns, essentially. If you have a goal, let's say you have a certain goal of losing weight, for example, or looking a certain way, or running a business that's making X amount of money, whatever that might be for you. Sit down, realistically look at how long it's going to take you to get from A to B. Let's say it's 5 years, for example, and then reverse engineer that whole process. So go, how do I get to this 5 years? So from at 5 years, this is where you are. And then go, 4 years, this is where I got to be. In 3 years, I got to be here. 2 years, I got to be here. 1 year, I got to be here. 8 months here, 6 months here, and literally just work backwards from your end goal. It takes time. You can't just sit down in half an hour and go, bang, I know what I'm doing. It'll take a little while, but go, this is where I see myself in the future, and this is how I'm going to get there step by step along the way. You're not going to hit every single one of those goals because you're not sure what's going to actually happen in that 5 year period. But at least you've got a clear goal of where you're going, you've got targets you can hit, and you've got motivation to get you there because you know that I need to get to here. I need to get to here. Once I get to here, I can go to the next step. Every small step that you take each and every single day is going to lead you to your bigger and more purposeful goal than where you are right now. Nothing's going to come in the short term. So we need to stop thinking that way, both gym and business and relationships and all that sort of stuff. Motivation is something that many of us believe, and for some people is there all the time. But honestly, it's just really not. We see influencers, TV hosts, travelers, people in the gym, whoever it might be, all those people we see, around us. The truth and reality to it is that motivation comes and goes for literally every single person in the world. Even for people that love what they do, they wake up and they live and they breathe what they do and they love it. Even those people have days where they wake up and go, I don't want to do this. I can't be bothered. I'd rather be doing something else. They'd much rather be doing other things, but because they have that passion, that purpose, they're able to push through not having that motivation to keep going, and they are able to keep going and doing what they're doing. So how do we create that environment within ourselves such that we don't need to rely purely on motivation all the time to get shit done? For me, when I think about this, there's sort of two main points that come to mind, and they're both discipline and habits. There's a third one as well, but I'll speak more about that a little later towards the end of the podcast, which is what can actually separate some people from being at the very top to people that are just stuck doing what they're doing every single day and not progressing to where they want to be. Let's start with discipline, because we all know what discipline is, but for those that don't, what is a discipline? Discipline is having that determination, having that grit, having that ferocious nature to achieve whatever it is you need to do at whatever the cost. Sometimes this can be actually a negative thing. Sometimes we have so much discipline and we're working away, we're in warrior mode, we're grinding and doing so much stuff that we start to neglect our family, our friends, our relationships, our other businesses, our sports, our health. Sometimes discipline and being stuck in that warrior mode can be a negative thing, but in most cases, it is a good thing because we're sort of able to discipline ourselves to get from point A to point B to C, and just work our way up the ladder. Discipline is having 4 to 5 hours of sleep from a long night of working or working away at your business, whatever it might be, and still waking up the next day at 6, 7, 8 a.m. to get to your job on time, to start making phone calls, start talking to clients, whatever it might be. Discipline is something that can be worked on. It's not something that some people are born with, some people have, some people don't. It's definitely something that people work on and work hard to get, but it also takes time to develop. You can't just wake up one day and go, bang, I'm going to start waking up at 6 a.m. every single day for the rest of my life, because it won't happen. I can guarantee you it probably won't happen. And discipline is different for everyone as well. Those who know their purpose and are clear, actionable goals will have a lot more discipline because they know what direction they're headed, they know what their plan is, and they know that that's what they want. They want that exact thing. They know how they're going to get there, and they know what the process is to do it. Next, we've got habits, which sort of habits and discipline sort of do, link in together as well. But the thing is with habits is it can be a double-edged sword. What I mean by this is that we can have good habits, which help us drive us forward in everyday life and help us progress to what we want to achieve. Like getting up early, going to the gym, or just going to the gym every single day. That could be a habit or a ritual for some people. But then there's also the bad habits, which can be negative and be harmful to us as well. And more often than not, because they're a habit, we actually don't know that it's hurting us. Being aware of your own habits, having your own self-awareness, can be such a powerful tool. One little exercise you can do after watching the rest of this podcast or listening to it is write down all the things you do in a day and what things you do in a day every single day. Like not just the things you're doing today or tomorrow, whatever it is, just the ritual things you'll do every single day without fail. Write those down and then look at the ones that are probably negatively impacting you and the ones that are positively impacting you. Breaking bad habits and creating new successful ones in place of those bad ones is what's going to lead you to success. Pretty simple. It's not rocket science. So like there's actually a really good exercise that I did once. I actually came up with myself. I didn't even Google this one, so this is all me. Unless someone else out there actually did make it, then sure, kudos to them. But at the very end of your day, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whatever day you listen to this podcast, sit down at the end of the day. Give yourself a good hour to do this task. Even half an hour, you probably get it done in. Get out a piece of paper and a pen. Write down every single thing you did that day. Everything from when the time you woke up to the time you got out of bed to the time you went to the bathroom, everything you did. And then from there, what I want you to do is cross the things out that had no meaning to you in that day. Wasted your time, wasted your energy, didn't have purpose in pushing you forward towards your goals. Then, tomorrow, the next day, whatever day after you've done this exercise, either fill those times that you've crossed out with things that did help you, that you did do on that day, that did push you forward, or just replace them with things that will push you forward further in your life. The more you do this, the further you'll progress and the further you go towards creating better habits and getting rid of those negative ones. Now, the third and final thing that I talked about earlier that I was going to mention towards the end of the podcast, and that's knowing your purpose. This one's a little harder to explain in a single word, like discipline or habits or motivation or whatever it is. When you think about the job you have, now let's say you start at 9 a.m. every single day, for example, and you're always there just before or at 9 o'clock every single day without fail. No matter the situation, no matter how tired you are, you're there. Unless you're sick and you're dying. That's the only exception, I guess. But for a lot of us, you don't want to be there. But you have to, right? Like, you've got to go. You have to make money. You've got to pay the bills. If you don't go, you're probably going to get fired, or you're going to get a warning and then you're going to get fired. What if you took all of that, had that same energy and discipline and urgency and drive for what you truly want to do in your life, for that one thing that fills your cup up all the way and makes you go, and the thing that makes you go, I could wake up every single day and do this enjoyably for the rest of my life. Knowing that true purpose, that true passion, that true drive that just fills you up completely is something extremely powerful, and usually most of us don't find it unless we dive really deep into our own self and find what it is that we have, like what skill or what can we give back to the world? What can we give back to the community? What people do we want to serve? What is the one thing that I can do that'll make a difference in not only my life, but others' lives, and that I could wake up happily and do every single day? For some of us, we don't find that until we're 40, 50, 60 years old. For others, like myself, I'm in my 20s. So I feel very grateful that I know exactly what I want to do and what direction my life is heading and where I want to head. But once you know your purpose, really use that energy that you would normally have for your job and put it into your purpose, because that's going to fill you up. That's going to make you feel so much better about yourself than just getting up and grinding away at a 9-to-5 job every single day. I can guarantee you that. I swear it. Anyway, that is going to wrap up this week's podcast. There was a lot of information there, sort of went a little bit deeper into some of the mindset stuff around not relying on that motivation all the time, because motivation comes and goes, like I said. But I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Hope you really gained something from this. If you did find any of this information useful, I would really appreciate it if you want to share it with your friends, your family, chuck it up on Instagram, take a picture of you watching this on YouTube, or take a picture of the podcast and just chuck it on your story. The more people I can reach out to, the better, because that is part of my purpose, is helping more people. I am super grateful, super humbled to be bringing you all this information and sharing it with everyone that's listening right now. My website, jakebowler.com, without the extra R this time. I actually managed to get... Nope, it is just jakebowler.com. There you go. It is up. It's live. I've got my free ebook on there. There's going to be some new training modules coming up on there as well very soon. I've got a 12-week shredding program coming up just in time for summer. Go check out my Instagram. That's where I'm most reachable. If you wanted to contact me, get in touch, ask any questions about any of the podcasts that I've done now or in the past, at Jake Bowler with the extra R. But until next time, again, I appreciate your love, support. Hit the like, hit subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.